When the Terran ship Resolute was first unveiled, most of the galaxy laughed. It was smaller than a cruiser, slower than a scout ship, and built from alloys that other species considered outdated. Its single cannon was mocked as primitive, its shielding system labeled a joke. No one believed it could survive in modern combat, much less change the balance of power across the stars. To most alien strategists, the Resolute was nothing more than a curious human experiment in futility. But the humans did not laugh. They simply finished the ship, ran their tests in silence, and sent it out into the void. Commander Hale stood on the bridge as the ship left Earth's orbit. His expression was calm, unreadable, but there was a hard light in his eyes. Around him, the crew worked in steady silence. They had heard the laughter too. Every broadcast from alien networks mocked the new human vessel. But they knew something no one else did. The Resolute was not built to impress. It was built to end wars. The first test came sooner than anyone expected. The Centauri Dominion, an empire of arrogant conquerors, controlled a quarter of the galaxy's inner ring. They had been watching humanity's expansion with growing irritation. To them, the humans were latecomers, noisy and unrefined. When they saw the Resolute launch, their admirals chuckled and decided to make an example of it. So they sent a fleet. 80 ships, sleek, armed with plasma batteries and gravity lances, appeared at the edge of the Sol system. Their commander, Admiral Kerr, sent a single transmission demanding the humans surrender the ship for inspection. When no reply came, he gave the order to fire. The Resolute was still moving past the orbit of Mars when the enemy fleet arrived. To the Dominion, it looked like an easy victory, a single small vessel against a formation large enough to blot out the stars. But Hale did not order retreat. He didn't even raise shields at first. He waited. Then, when the enemy fleet was in range, he spoke 2 words that would be remembered forever across the stars. Engage sequence. Every sensor in the system flared at once. The Resolute's hull shifted color, its outer plating realigning with metallic precision. Energy readings spiked beyond measurable limits. The small ship that had looked so unimpressive began to hum with restrained power. The Dominion ships hesitated. Their computers couldn't understand what they were seeing. Then the Resolute fired. A single beam of white light shot from its cannon. It cut across space like the hand of judgment. The nearest Dominion battleship, 3 kilometers long, vanished. Not destroyed, not shattered, simply erased. Its atoms scattered as if they had never existed. For a moment, the Dominion fleet froze in disbelief. Then panic broke their discipline. They opened fire, unleashing a storm of plasma and antimatter shells. The void burned with their fury. The Resolute moved. It didn't dodge like other ships. It shifted reality around itself, a ripple through the void that bent light and gravity. Every blast meant for it passed harmlessly aside. Then the Resolute fired again. Another ship gone. Then another. Each shot took less than a heartbeat, each impact erasing entire vessels as if they had never been part of the universe. Within 7 minutes, half the Dominion fleet was gone. Admiral Kerr screamed orders. He demanded retreat, but their warp drives wouldn't engage. The Resolute had jammed the subspace lanes. The Dominion's proud fleet was trapped, prey before a silent predator. And Hale did not speak again. He didn't need to. His crew operated with cold precision. The ship's systems responded to their slightest commands. The Resolute's AI calculated every trajectory, every firing solution, until the stars themselves seemed to tremble with its rhythm. When the last Dominion ship exploded, silence filled the system. Earth's defense satellites recorded the entire event. The data spread across human networks first, then leaked into the galactic net. The laughter stopped. Every species that had mocked the humans went silent as they replayed the footage. A single human ship had annihilated a battle fleet of one of the most powerful empires in existence. But the humans didn't boast. They didn't even issue a statement. The Resolute simply continued on its path, leaving behind nothing but drifting debris and questions that no one could answer. Weeks later, the Galactic Council convened. Representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered in orbit around the neutral world of Tiran. The Centauri demanded sanctions against humanity, calling the Resolute a weapon of mass destruction. Others argued that the humans had only defended themselves, but deep down, every delegate shared one fear. The humans had built something beyond comprehension, a Terran ambassador, A calm man named Reed attended the meeting. He listened to the shouting and accusations. When the Centauri representative slammed his fist on the table and demanded an explanation, Reed spoke quietly. "The Resolute was designed to ensure peace," he said. "If you don't threaten us, you have nothing to fear." The hall fell silent. For a long moment, no one dared to reply. Then the Centauri representative sneered. "Peace through annihilation? That is madness." Reed looked at him without blinking. "No, it is deterrence." That was when the galaxy began to change. Every major empire launched covert missions to steal human technology. Spies infiltrated shipyards, hackers attacked Earth's data cores, and fleets shadowed human patrols. But none succeeded. The Resolute systems were sealed behind encryption that no alien code could crack. The humans guarded their secret with quiet, frightening discipline. A year passed. The Dominion rebuilt its fleet, this time larger than before. Their pride could not allow the humiliation to stand. They sent 200 ships to the edge of human space, intent on vengeance. They believed the Resolute was unique, a prototype, a one-time miracle. They were wrong. When the Dominion fleet crossed the border, human sensors detected them instantly. Within an hour, 5 Terran warships emerged from hyperspace. Each bore the same compact design, the same quiet menace. The Dominion laughed again, though this time their laughter was nervous. They thought they could overwhelm the humans with sheer numbers. The battle that followed would be studied for centuries. The Terran ships didn't fight like normal vessels. They moved in formation so tight it defied physics, their energy signatures merging into one continuous field. The moment the Dominion opened fire, the Terran ships vanished from sensors. When they reappeared, they were inside the enemy formation. Then came the storm. 5 beams of light tore through the void, weaving through battleships and cruisers, leaving nothing but expanding clouds of vapor. The Dominion tried to adapt, deploying their most advanced countermeasures, but it was like throwing stones at lightning. The human ships never missed, never faltered, never hesitated. When it was over, 200 Dominion vessels were gone. The Terran fleet had not lost a single ship. The recording of that battle spread faster than light. Across the galaxy, military doctrines crumbled overnight. Entire fleets were recalled. Some governments began dismantling their weapons, fearing retaliation. Others desperately tried to copy human technology, but none could replicate it. Rumors spread that the humans had discovered something ancient, an energy field older than the stars. Others whispered that the Resolute's weapon tapped into the fabric of existence itself. The truth, as always, was simpler and more terrifying. Humanity had finally learned how to turn its greatest weakness, its fragility, into strength. They had built a ship not to conquer, but to end the very concept of conquest. Decades later, veterans of those wars would tell stories about the Resolute. Some said it was still out there, patrolling the dark edges of known space, ensuring that no empire dared ignite another galactic war. Others claimed it had been decommissioned, its technology buried deep beneath the surface of Mars. But the truth was known only to a few. The Resolute was never decommissioned. It was simply hidden. Hale and his crew remained aboard, in stasis, waiting for the day humanity would need them again. And that day came sooner than expected. A new power arose beyond the galactic rim. The Keth Dominion, a coalition of species that had united under the promise of destroying human influence, gathered an armada of 1,000 ships. They believed humanity had grown complacent. They believed the Resolute was a myth. They were wrong too. When the Keth fleet entered human space, the stars themselves seemed to dim. Their formation stretched across millions of kilometers, a tide of metal and hatred. The first human colonies they found were silent, evacuated long before. The Keth commanders laughed and pressed deeper, eager to burn Earth itself. Then their sensors detected a signal. A small vessel appeared ahead of them, alone, motionless. Its hull was old, scarred, and silent. The Keth admiral ordered its destruction. Thousands of cannons fired. The blasts struck nothing. The Resolute moved. Its systems roared to life for the first time in a century. Hale awoke in his command chair as power surged through the decks. The ship's AI, silent for generations, whispered into his ear. All systems ready. He looked at the 1,000 ships before him. His expression did not change. Then let's remind them, he said. The Resolute unleashed its fury. What followed was not a battle, but an event. Space itself screamed as the ship tore through the fleet. Beams of pure energy ripped the Keth formation apart, warping gravity, silencing communication. The Keth ships tried to flee, but their drives collapsed under the strain. The Resolute moved faster than light, reappearing behind them, above them, within their lines. Every moment, another ship